Antoine Bethea stopped by our Table 21, and it's a time of transition for the Arizona Cardinals, and it's also a time when he has a major influence in the locker room because he's been in the NFL for more than a decade. He's seen so much of how this business works, and that's why the Cardinals need guys like him and Larry Fitzgerald as they go through yet another coaching change and try to find that stability and become a contender again. So it's great to catch up with Antoine on Radio Row.
Super Bowl 53, the Arizona Cardinals.
I got really excited when I realized that you were on the schedule today because you're a Walter Payton Man of the Year, 2019 Arizona Cardinals. And to me, that is one of the highest honors in the NFL. What does that mean to you, Antoine?
It means everything. Guys, we can go out there and, we can tackle each other, catch passes or whatever. But to be able to make a difference in your community and make a difference in other people's lives, I think that's what our platform calls for. So to be recognized as a Walter Payton nominee, it's just a humbling experience.
So in your life away from football, what are a couple of causes, a couple of partnerships that you have that are really important to you?
So, my wife is over there. Her mom lost her battle with breast cancer. My mom just beat breast cancer 2 years ago.
Awesome.
I have an older cousin who just beat breast cancer this past year. So obviously breast cancer is one big thing that's affected my life personally. So I try to give back to breast cancer nationally. And then also, I started my foundation, Safe Coverage Foundation, in 2010, which focuses in on inner city youth, education for the students that lack resources, that lack the resources to really help them continue education after high school. Whether that's not having somebody in their household that has even graduated high school or went on to go to college, to give them some education about how to do that. And then, as far as just resources, a lot of kids, when they leave school, when they go home, they don't have access to a computer or have access to reading books or the things of that nature. So my foundation helps out with that as well.
Well, congratulations on that nomination. That's really exciting.
Thank you.
You're defensive captain for the Cardinals, multiple Pro Bowls, and there has been some recent success for your team. But the last couple of years, what have they been like?
It's been tough. It's been tough. This past year, we finished 3-13. Obviously, I think going into the season, if you would have said we would have been 3-13, I would have said you was lying. But it is what it is. Mm-hmm. It was tough for us. Obviously, you had to dig deep, look yourself in the mirror, and figure out what can I do to help this team. Obviously, we fired our coach at the end of the year,
right.
And we're going into another new head coach, another new coaching staff. So that's tough, but it's part of the business.
What do you know about Cliff Kingsbury?
Young, innovative, offensive-minded coach. A lot of energy. Mm-hmm. Everybody who talks about him speaks highly about him. So
yep.
I'm excited to meet him. I'm excited to meet him. I'm excited to sit down and talk with him and just see his view, how to get us back to the other side.
I've talked to a few NFL guys on the defensive side of the ball, like you are, of course, both retired and current. Mm-hmm. And the climate has changed a lot in the NFL, from the rules to just in general, the way that it feels like the playing field's tilted toward facilitating offense and space and room and everything else.
Yeah.
So when you hear that your new head coach is all about the offense, what do you need to hear from him to know that the defensive side of the ball matters too?
I don't think we have to. We got a great, from my understanding, a great defensive coordinator, Vance Joseph.
Yes, of course.
I was just talking to Solomon Wilcox earlier. He was just speaking highly about him. So he and Coach Joseph, former head coach. Mm-hmm. So I think we have that happy medium.
Okay.
Coach being that it's his first head coaching job, and you have a former head coach on your coaching staff. I think it'll help him with that as well. So I think we'll be fine. We have some veteran guys on our side of the ball, so I think we'll be fine.
Your defense certainly still physical and tough. That's a hallmark of the Cardinals. I got to tell you, I was geeked up. One of my favorite players in the NFL to watch is Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
Says he's coming back.
Yeah.
I know that he's an ambassador for the NFL, not just for the Cardinals.
For sure.
But What does it mean to you to have this guy on your team?
Means everything, man. He's one of the greatest guys to play the game, to play his position. We call him the GOAT on the team, and for him to come back for his 16th season and still playing at a very high level, I think it's remarkable. But like you said, he's the ambassador for our team, but not only our team, but the NFL.
Yes.
Obviously he's a former Walter Payton Man of the Year award winner. So the things that he does for our team, for the community in Arizona, man, it's good to have him back to lead our team again.
Antoine Bethea, defensive captain for the Arizona Cardinals, with us here after hours on CBS Sports Radio. Now, you've got a book, Bet on Yourself, Inside the Mind of the Ultimate Underdog. We can talk about that in a second. But you just opened a sports bar and grill.
Yeah.
We talked about some of your charitable efforts. How do you have time to do everything, even including the Safe Coverage Foundation hosting the college tour in February?
Yeah, man, it's a lot. But, I always told myself if I was ever in a situation to be able to give back and help others, that's what I would do. So, I opened the District 41 Sports Bar back in my hometown. I think that was just an opportunity to offer some people some jobs in my community, and that was huge. And obviously my college tour, be able to grab some high school students in Newport News and Hampton and take them to some colleges so they can see what's out there for them. A lot of the kids in the neighborhood, a lot of them don't leave outside of that city, and as crazy as it may sound, I think they need to realize and find out what's outside of their normal surroundings. So it's a lot, but I love doing it. I love giving back.
How often do you get home to Virginia?
So the good thing about it is that in the off season I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. That's only a 40-minute flight. So every other week, I get back for a day or two.
That's awesome.
Yes, ma'am.
Antoine with us here on Radio Row. How do you like this process? I've seen you already do a bunch of interviews today. I asked you how many. You said I can't remember.
I like it. I like it. Be able to get around and talk to different people. From obviously have stations from all over.
Yes.
So it's definitely a fun process. I enjoy it.
Okay, this just jumped out at me. Your PR rep handed me this piece of paper. You received a Good Guy Award. What is that? I've never heard of that before, for the Pro Football Writers Association.
Oh, yeah.
The Good Guy Award.
The Good Guy Award. So that's an award that I guess teams give out. Not teams, but like the writers and the reporters
media,
of the team leaders gives out. So it's tough sometimes. After a tough loss,
yes.
Week 14, week 12, and obviously, they have a job to do. So as a vet, I understand that. So, I'm trying to be available as much as I can and talk with them. As much as sometimes I don't want to do it, I definitely
and we can be pains in the rear.
Yeah, I know.
You were a Super Bowl champ with the Colts. What do you remember about that day as we close in on Super Bowl 53?
Oh, I remember everything.
Do you?
Waking up and, the bus ride over in the locker room. And, one big thing is that Devin Hester returning that kick on the first kickoff. But other than that, it ran in the entire Super Bowl. Obviously the big thing was Prince performing at halftime. And that was my rookie year, so that it seems still like yesterday. It still seems like yesterday, and then we was in Miami, so obviously the night on the town after the win was remarkable. So it was a great experience, something that I always remember. So it was definitely a great time.
You recognize that guy? I mean, that was almost 15 years ago. You were first getting started. Now here you are. You've got 13 years under your belt.
I know, but like I said, it seems like yesterday. Time flies by, and that rookie year, man, it was something that I always remember.
For sure. Before I let you go, why do you keep doing it? I mean, you've already gone 4 times longer than the average NFL career. Why do you keep going, Antoine?
I love it. Even though the body might say different, might say something different sometimes, but I love it. I love the camaraderie in the locker room. I love when the young guys come in and see, how excited they are, because I know I was at that point at some time in my career, and I still enjoy getting up in the morning. I still enjoy working out. I still enjoy the Sundays. I enjoy the process, and like I said, I enjoy it. And when that day comes where I'm questioning myself if I want to do it, then that's when I'll call it quits.
Well, certainly in Arizona, this time of transition, the franchise with a new head coach needs guys like you and Larry. Antoine Bethea, defensive captain for the Cardinals here on Radio Row. Thank you so much for a couple of minutes and for being a good guy with the media.
I appreciate you for having me.